Paul Tully for Boxing King Media in association with BoxingKing.com. And I'm delighted to say that joining us today is one of 15 of our global brand ambassadors, AAA, Adam the Assassin Azim. Adam won pretty much everything there is to win in the amateur game, and his brother Hassan won a bronze medal at the Youth Olympics in 2018. So, Adam, tell us, were you tempted by the prospect of the Olympic Games in 2024, or were you always determined to turn pro as soon as possible?
Starting young from a professional is, gaining experience when you go up is better. You don't want to wait that many years to go Olympics, and then afterwards you don't have that many years to go to fight in the pros. So I'd rather start young and then, get a little experience in the pros and then work my way up.
Yeah.
Like more of development.
Yeah. Well, most boxers now, when they're making their professional debuts, they start with a 4-round contest. But
yeah,
I think your dad decided to start you off. And in fact, I think your brother was going to be the same before his got postponed straight into a 6-rounder. What was the rationale or the reasoning behind that?
Do you know what? When I used to spar, I used to do so many rounds, and I've lost count how many rounds I did. And then me and my dad spoke, and I said to my dad, I'm fit enough to do 6 rounds. So we jumped into the 6-round schedule, and do you know what? I find it's much better than the 4-rounder. So I can take my time and pick my shots and work my way up in the 6 rounds. But in the 4 rounds, it's basically like an amateur fight. It's just three rounds rushing it, and then you only have one more round extra to go all out. And it could even be in a draw, in the 6-rounders, you can lose a round, you can win it back again. So it's basically like that.
Yeah, it's just funny you say that, Adam. I was actually going to ask you your style. I've watched some of your amateur fights, and even when you were an amateur, you almost had like a sort of like a professional style where you like to kind of sit back on the back foot and really pick your shots. And, you weren't afraid to be back on the ropes because you sort of trusted your footwork to get out of there. Do you think that style made it a much easier transition for you? Like, have you even had to make that many adjustments moving to the pro game?
Do you know what? I still work on like what I did in the amateurs. Like now, just a few tweaks I did. It's not a big transition, but you know what? I've been sparring like a lot of these pros, like Luke Campbell. When I sparred him, I learned a lot from that spar, and I went back and keep developing, and now I'm like be able to fight with these world-class fighters hopefully in the future.
Yeah, 100%. Were you a wee bit frustrated maybe on your pro debut, Ed Harrison, his tactics? Did it make it harder for you to kind of showcase your full repertoire, your full talent set, especially maybe your power? Because he didn't want to engage too much.
Yeah. He, from the first round, he tried coming at me, but I think after that he held back because I was faster and more powerful than him. But with that experience that he had he can adjust and defend and try to secure the rounds without getting hurt. With me, it was my first fight on Sky Sports and had a lot of pressure on me. But you know what? It's all experience. So do you know what I mean? That was a great fight. Like I adjusted, and then also it's all about experience, isn't it? So do you know what I mean? I'm happy I took that fight, and I got a statement out of it as well. So
I think you're probably going to get that, Adam, early on in your career, especially if people are watching the sort of training footage that I'm seeing recently of you like hitting the water bag and stuff. You can really tell you're sitting down on your punches now, and you can see that power is really coming on in both hands. And I guess guys are going to fear that power and maybe try to run away a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Because I've been working on a lot of adjustments and development, and I think I'm more capable of hurting them really more now. So I've learned a lot just from that fight. So
yeah, 100%. So Adam, just moving on then, I'm just going to talk about your division, because I know you said maybe early on when you were just turning over, you'd mentioned that you had ambitions to become a world champion in the lightweight division, you know, at a young age, maybe
Yeah.
even before you turn 21. And people talk about that division like it's the strongest one out there, really.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give you the Ring Magazine ratings here, and I would like your opinion, if you will, on how you rate them. Would you agree with the Ring Magazine, or would you have these guys in a different order? Okay, because I know you're a student of the game. So they've got Teofimo Lopez as champion. They've got Lomachenko after that. They've got Ryan Garcia and then Devin Haney. And I guess they're putting Gervonta Davis as number one junior lightweight. So they've got him out of that division. So Lopez, Lomachenko, Garcia, Haney. What's your opinion on that order? How do you rate those guys?
Do you know what? Teofimo should be number one because he's just beaten like one of the best boxers on the planet, pound for pound. Even I thought like Lomachenko was going to beat him, but no one expected him to beat Lomachenko. And plus, he's beaten like Richard Comey at like 21, 22, and he knocked him out as well. So beating Lomachenko at 23, coming undisputed at the youngest age ever, is just a brilliant. I think the Lomachenko is definitely second, but I don't think Ryan Garcia should be third. I think he should be about fourth. I think Haney should be third because I think Haney's got a big test coming up anyway. Like we see what he'll be capable of fighting Linares, and we see how he is at the world, like proper elite world level. So,
yeah, what did you make of? I think Ryan Garcia had said that he wanted to wait until he could get a full stadium of fans in California before he takes on Devin Haney or even Tank Davis. But Eddie Hearn came out and sort of said that was a cop-out because he feels like that'll be possible come July anyway. So, I mean, Eddie Hearn seemed to be sort of suggesting there that Ryan Garcia doesn't really want to fight Haney right now. What's your take on it?
Yeah. I think most of the guys not going to take the fight with each other. I think they want to build it up. So I mean, you got like they're still really young. They can build up like the fight like really good. Like Ryan Garcia wants to get another fight so he can get experience before he takes on like Gervonta Davis, Haney, and what's it called Teofimo Lopez. Mm-hmm. Like all of them, they're always shouting each other out. But you know, I see what they're doing. They want to like, you know what I mean, get fights in, beat them, and then fight elite level. I mean, take on everyone at the same time. So
yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah, sure. What about yourself then, Adam? When do you feel like you'll be ready to step into that kind of top 10 elite kind of category? I know you've only had one pro fight, but I know you're also ambitious and you want to be active and you want to get out there. Has the COVID thing been a bit of a factor in kind of slowing down that progression for you?
Yeah, do you know what? This COVID has just stopped everyone. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's hard to get fights now for everyone, and do you know what I mean? It's like hard to please everyone now to get fights. It's like it's good to take your time, but you know what I mean. At this stage, people like in the high level, they need the fights. But with me, I can take my time because I'm only 18, and do you know what I mean? I want to get up to the elite level fast, and I want to also get experience and gain development before I actually get into the world stage. So.
Yeah, I know we've got. I was speaking with Kaish Farouk there the other day, and I know we've got Ramadan coming up soon. So is that a factor as well? It could maybe mean you have to push your next fight back a little bit. When can we expect to see you back out again, Adam?
You know what? With Ramadan, it helps me. You know what I mean? It makes me lose weight as well. Like, and plus it's good. Like for Islamically, we have to do it because I don't like fighting in Ramadan. I want to, you know what I mean, mentally get better and fight. And probably I'll be out in June or July time. Do you know what I mean? So I'll be ready. Like, you know, Ramadan is coming up. I just want to spend some time with my family and also just like spend some time in the Islamic environment.
Yeah, sure, understand that. And what about your brother then? COVID also kind of put a bit of a spanner in the works for, he was meant to make his pro debut. I think it was back in November, was it, Adam? And I think it was
that's right,
trainer Khalid, he got a positive COVID test and that kind of scuppered those plans, is that right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So, do you know what I mean? It's wherever God wills, you know what I mean? He's the best planner and, do you know what I mean? He should be out soon anyway, but he had like a lot of these fights scheduled, but you know what I mean, some of them couldn't be able to come and fight because they had some work, and you know what I mean. It's everything happens for a reason anyway. So we'll see. My brother will come out soon anyway, so to fight.
Yeah, it'll be good to see him back.
Yeah.
Tell me this: I know you're not the same weights, obviously. I mean, he's a taller guy and whatever. But do you guys spar each other?
Yeah. You know what? We do spar each other like technical. We're near enough the same weights. Like I'm light and he's welterweight. It's good to like, you know what I mean. He'd throw like a jab, and I throw like a jab. You know what I mean. Work on different stuff that we need to work on in fights. Like I mean, like having my brother there is just it's like great for me as well because he brings energy to the session, and do you know what I mean. It's like brother love. Like look at these like brothers coming out, like the Charlotte brothers, you know what I mean? Both of the world champion, and they love each other, how they have great energy in the gym. That's the way I see my brother, like in the gym as well. So
Yeah, and he's out there with you in Pakistan at the moment as well. Is that right?
yeah, he's in Pakistan as well. My whole family's in Pakistan, so
Right.
Kashmir is called. Yeah.
Yeah. And are you guys doing any training out there, or is it just like relaxing and
do you know what we're just relaxing at the moment, but you know what I mean, soon enough we'll be like running up the mountains anyway in Kashmir, and so I mean building up our stamina, and then coming back, and then I'll be doing my pads, bags, and sparring with that again. So
and is it going to be like a problem logistically getting back because of the British government putting Pakistan on the red list or whatever?
Yeah, they're put on the red list, but do you know what? We can come back, but I think you have to quarantine in a hotel for about 10 days. So, but you know what? We'll be able to get out of the hotel hopefully. So, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, you could be stuck in a hotel when you come home, maybe, or maybe you can quarantine even in your house, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be better if you quarantine in the house. So I can do like, you know what I mean, a session at home as well. So
yeah. Well, listen, just before I let you go, I've got one really important question. I watched, when I was doing the research for this interview, I watched you and your boys went out to celebrate your win in your pro debut, and you went to a restaurant, and the food looked absolutely off the chain. And my colleague, Wingy Boxing, he's big into his food, man. So I was just wondering, we have an idea of doing a food vlog, and going around asking all the fighters, where do you go when you want to celebrate a big win, So tell us, where was the restaurant? Was that the production near the production park studios in Yorkshire, or was that back home in Slough?
That was in Finchley, called Gokazu. It's got like these massive platters, like with mixed squirrels, rice, and all that, and it was like there was about 10 or 12 of us, but just on that platter, it can feed about 20 of us. So that's like one of my favorite spots to go because it's healthy and you can enjoy, like, it's a massive restaurant, and spending time with like your friends and all that it's a great place to go with them. So
brilliant. Well, I look forward to it. Hopefully, with all these COVID restrictions are lifted, maybe Wingy and I can get out there and sample some of the delicacies.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely go catch up in Finchley and have some like massive grill there.
Yeah, sounds good, man. So just before I let you go, then, do you want to give a shout out where people can follow you on your socials? Shout out your sponsors, maybe.
Yeah, Adam.Azim1, my Instagram. Adam.Azim103, my Snapchat, and Facebook. Adam Superkid. But also known as Adam Assassin Azim, and that's all.
Brilliant. Okay, well, Paul Tully for Boxing King Media speaking with Adam Azim today. You can find us on all your social media platforms. Adam, thanks a million for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, man. Bye.